Welcome to Department of Collegiate and Technical Education. And also I welcome Department of Mechanical Engineering. On behalf of Department of Mechanical Engineering, I welcome. So, my teaching subject is metal casting and welding. Model 2, melting and metal mold casting methods. Session 4. Myself, Munira Juke, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Government Engineering College, Ramnagara. Course objectives to understand the principles involved in different types of melting furnaces. Here, exclusively, you're going to study about furnaces, contents, classification of furnaces, gas-fired furnace, resistance furnace, induction furnace. So initially, we'll go for introduction to melting furnaces. A prerequisite to casting is the use of metal in a molten state. The transformation of metal from solid to molten liquid is accomplished in variety of ways through the use of melting furnace. A melting furnace is a device used for melting metals or alloys of desired composition and weight. Here, the definition of furnace is a melting furnace. A furnace is a device used for melting metals or alloys of desired composition and weight. It converts solid metal into molten metal by application of heat. The details regarding the various types of furnaces and its capacity to melt the different metals are discussed in the following section. Classification of furnaces. The melting furnaces used for melting various ferrous and non-ferrous metals and alloys can be classified based on fuel, metal melted, furnace used. On fuel, on the basis of fuel, coke is it's an ingredient for heat produce coke. Next, oil you're going to use as a fuel, coke you're going to use as a fuel, and gas also you're going to use as a fuel to produce the heat energy required to melt the solid metal, and also electricity, coke, oil, gas, and electricity. These are the 4 sources used to produce the heat energy in the furnaces. Metal melted, on the basis of metal, you're going to melt. The furnaces are classified: cast iron, non-ferrous alloys. For cast iron, non-ferrous alloys, you're going to use coke as a fuel. Coke as a fuel. And furnaces, the name of furnaces are Cofolo or crucible fit furnaces. Next, oil, non-ferrous alloys, irons and steels. Oil you're going to use as a fuel, or oil you're going to use as a ingredient to produce the heat energy. So you're going to melt the metal, non-ferrous alloys, irons and steels. The example for furnaces are, or name of the furnaces are crucible fit furnace, open hearth furnace. Gas fuel, you're going to melt non-ferrous alloys, iron and steel. Again, by using the gas, you can melt non-ferrous alloys, iron and steel. The name of the furnace we're going to use are crucible fit furnace and open hearth furnace. Last one is electricity. source for heat energy or fuel is electricity to produce the heat energy. In electricity, on the basis of electricity, you're going to melt the steel, cast iron, non-ferrous alloys, iron, and steel. The name of furnaces are, or type of furnaces are electric arc furnace, resistance furnace, and induction type furnace. These are the classification of furnaces. We'll take a first one, gas fired furnace. You can see the diagram. Crucible is there. Crucible is nothing but it a vessel. It contains molten metal. A black is a supporting unit. Gas and air, mixture of gas and air as a fuel for heat energy. And steel shell is there. Refractory brick lining is there to absorb the heat. Lid is there. Lid is a opening. It's a opening. You can open the and close the lid to place the solid metal, required amount of solid metal into the crucible. Once it is converted into molten metal, you can open the lid and you can take out the hot molten metal from the crucible. So there is a gap for hot gases out. There is a vent. This is called vent. The opening is called vent. So the fire is created at the bottom using waste coke or wood, etc. The gas is blown through the burner. Gas and air mixture is blown or thrown here through the burner. This will create the flame and heat inside the lining, inside of the lining. The burner is switched off and the crucible with ignites is placed. Burner is switched off and the crucible with ignites or solid metal is placed through the lid opening. The burner is switched on. The flame will sweep around the crucible and the flame is used to melting. Once the metal reaches the desired temperature, the burner is switched off and the crucible is taken out. The molten metal is treated and poured. In operation, the lid is opened and the charge is fed directly into the crucible. After the metal melts, or before metal melts, we're going to pass the hot gas and air to produce heat energy around the crucible. Once the molten metal is melted and attains the desired temperature, the lid of the furnace is opened and the crucible is lifted with the help of tongs. This is the gas-fired furnace. Next, resistance furnace. You can see the diagram. Resistance. It is also resistance furnace. Is also contains crucible supporting unit black. Instead of gas or external fire, here we are going to use resistance coil. Resistance coil to produce the heat energy required to melt the solid metal. Here also vent is there. Vent is a gap to pass the hot gases. And the lid is you can open the lid and close the lid. Through the lid, you can place or you can charge the solid metal into the crucible, and we can close the lid. Once solid metal is converted into liquid, you can open the lid, and molten metal is taken out. Steel shell is there. Refractory brick is also, diagram is also similar to gas-fired furnace, except this coil, resistance coil. The figure shows the direct type of resistance furnace. It consists of a current carrying coils inside the refractory brick. It contains current carrying coils inside the refractory brick. The crucible with ignites is charged, is kept in the furnace on the pedestal, and the lid is closed. That means solid metal is fed or solid metal is placed inside the crucible through the lid opening and the lid is closed. Current is switched on. Next is current is switched on. The temperature of the furnace is controlled by the temperature controller. Whatever the temperature required, that is maintained through the temperature controller. The melting starts slowly. Melting starts slowly. After completion of melting, the lid is opened. After converting solid metal into molten, hot molten metal, the lid is opened. The crucible is taken out for pouring. Crucible is contains crucible is a vessel which contains molten metal. Crucible is taken out for pouring. Heating takes place due to the resistance offered by the coil material on the principle of I square R T. On the principle of I square R T. Heat is produced on the principle of I square R T. This type of furnace is normally used for melting non-ferrous alloys. Due to the flow of current in the coil, the metal of coil offers resistance and the heat is generated according to the formula Q is equal to I square R T joules, where Q is heat generated in joules. I is equal to flow of current in ohms. R is equal to resistance of coil in ohms. T is equal to time of current flow in seconds. The heat generated from the coil is utilized to heat the metal in the crucible to melt. Very cleaned molten metal is easily obtained. Controlling is very easy. Controlling of entire unit or controlling of temperature is very easy. Next type of furnace is induction furnace. It is most popular furnace for carrying out melting operation. It is most popular furnace for carrying out melting operation with simplicity, with simple operation. Simplicity means simple operation. Good quality of melt can be obtained. It works on the principle of induced EMF. Induced EMF, as in case of transformer. Molten metal acts as a secondary and the current carrying conductor acts as a primary. Types of induction furnaces. 4 type induction furnace, 4 less type induction furnace. The first type, the coils are surrounded by molten metal. The second type, the coils surrounds the molten metal. Induction furnace working principle. Induction furnace works on the principle of transformer or transformer principle. Water cooled copper coil carrying current acts as a primary. The metallic charge in the crucible acts as a secondary. Current induced in the charge is by electromagnetic induction. The charge offer resistance to flow of induced secondary current. Due to this, the heat is developed and the charge starts melting. Induction furnace is capable of melting all types of metals and alloys from small quantity to large quantity. Small quantities to large quantities of 25 kg to 10 ton. Very easily, conveniently and quickly. So induction furnace is heavy furnace. We can melt all types of metals and alloys and large quantities of metals with easy operation. So this is the main advantage of induction furnace because of heat energy produced is more. Due to the induced EMF caused, the stirring of molten metal in the melting process is special feature. Here one special feature is there. Stirring action is there because of induced EMF. Vibrations is there that stirs the molten metal. Thereby gives excellent homogeneity in the composition. Molten metal composition, you are going to get excellent homogeneity. The furnace houses the crucible inside the copper coil. The crucible is formed by ramming the refractory grains and sintering it. A sheet of mica or asbestos separates the coil and refractory. The outer shell of the furnace is made up of mild steel. This is the working principle of induction furnace. There are two types. So in our syllabus, we have coreless type induction furnace. The furnace consists of an outer cylinder steel shell and is hinged at the bottom front side to facilitate tilting for pouring. Furnace contains tilting. Molten furnace hinge is there. Hinge, you can see the hinge, the diagram. So we can tilt the furnace to pour the molten metal. Crucible is there. Construction crucible is there. It contains the molten metal. Electricity coils are there. You can pass the electricity coil. Bottom refractory brick is there to withstand the heat energy. Refractory packing is there here. It also withstand heat energy. And insulating material is there. The inner surface of the shell is covered with mica or asbestos, and the bottom surface is covered with refractory bricks. Next to the insulation layer, hollow copper tube coils are present for the entire height of the shell. We saw the copper coils around the crucible. These tubes carry current and water cooled. A layer of insulation is provided to the coils. Compacted ramming of refractory packing is provided above the bricks to form a base. A thin steel former is provided at the top of the base. An annular space between the shell and the coil is rammed with the ramming mass. A steel former holds the ramming mass, surrounds it. The top of the furnace front end in the form of lip or spout to facilitate metal to flow. The inside portion of the former determines the furnace capacity. See the diagram. Coreless induction furnace. The furnace works on the principle of transformer in which copper coils such as primary and charge as secondary. Sintering consists of passing low ampere current through the coil for the several hours. Due to this, EMF is induced in the former and gets heated up. The former becomes red hot and this starts heating the ramming mass and sinters. Slowly, layer by layer, refractory mass gets sintered. The current is slowly increased and heating is continued for several hours. Loose thin scrap is slowly charged into the crucible. Loose thin scrap, solid metal is charged into the crucible. The scrap slowly melts and the liquid metal pool is formed. Solid scrap metal will be converted into liquid metal to form a pool. After some time, molten metal starts stirring. The stirring action is due to the eddy current induced in the metal, which will be flowing the opposite to the direction of main current. The stirring action ensures homogeneous molten metal. Necessary alloying elements can be easily added. The charge needs to be properly selected since slag removal is difficult due to stirring action. So here session 4 is completed. So we'll meet for further further study of furnace at session 5.